Welcome, dear friends, to a cozy journey through a small French country home brimming with vintage floral elegance and soft organic touches. Today, we'll explore how to infuse warmth, nostalgia, and nature-inspired beauty into your space. Whether you're a longtime lover of cottage decor or just discovering its magic, this video is packed with inspiration to transform your home. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and comment below with your favorite French country decor tips. Where floral patterns and weathered woods tell a story. The living room is the soul of this French country cottage, where soft linen sofas meet antique wooden coffee tables. Floral upholstery in muted pastels blends with rustic beams, creating a space that feels both timeless and fresh. A vintage chandelier adds a touch of elegance, while woven baskets and dried lavender bring organic warmth. This balance of refined and rustic makes the room inviting, perfect for slow mornings with a cup of tea. walls into blooming masterpieces. Nothing says French country like walls adorned with delicate floral prints or hand-painted botanicals. Opt for soft sage greens, blush pinks, or creamy whites to keep the space airy. Vintage-inspired wallpaper or framed botanical sketches add depth without overwhelming the room. For a modern twist, try removable peel-and stick wallpapers, easy to apply and change. These floral touches evoke the romance of a countryside garden, making every corner feel like a breath of fresh air. The magic of aged wood in a curated cottage. Reclaimed wood furniture, think farmhouse tables, distressed cabinets, and floating shelves, adds character and history to this home. The natural grain and imperfections tell a story, while soft wax finishes preserve their vintage charm. Pair these pieces with wrought iron hardware for an authentic French country feel. Even small touches, like a wooden bread box or a carved mirror frame, can infuse rustic elegance into your decor. Linen, lace, and cotton for effortless charm. French country decor thrives on tactile textures. Layer a linen slipcover over your sofa, add a crocheted throw, or drape a vintage lace curtain over a window. These fabrics create a sense of lived-in comfort while maintaining elegance. Opt for neutral tones with subtle floral embroidery or checks to keep the look cohesive. The key? Mixing and matching without overthinking, let the layers unfold naturally. Dried flowers, woven baskets, and earthy elements. Nature is the best decorator. Incorporate dried lavender bundles, pampas grass, or eucalyptus stems in vintage pitchers. Woven seagrass baskets offer both storage and texture, while terracotta pots with trailing ivy add life. These organic elements soften the space, making it feel fresh and serene. The goal? A home that feels like a peaceful garden retreat, no matter the season. Where open shelves and porcelain dishes shine. The kitchen is the heart of this cottage, with open wooden shelves displaying vintage porcelain plates and mason jars. A farmhouse sink and brass faucet add timeless appeal, while fresh herbs in clay pots bring fragrance and function. For a true French touch, hang copper pots overhead or add a rustic chalkboard menu. This space isn't just for cooking, it's for gathering, laughing, and savoring slow moments. floral china, linen napkins, and candlelit dinners. A French country dining table is a feast for the eyes. Set the scene with mismatched floral plates, linen napkins tied with twine, and a centerpiece of wildflowers in a milk jug. Soft candlelight enhances the warmth, making every meal feel special. Don't shy away from vintage silverware or etched glassware. These details elevate the experience, turning simple dinners into cherished memories. Where ruffled bedding and antique frames create dreams. The bedroom is a soft, dreamy escape with a wrought iron bed dressed in ruffled linen sheets. Floral quilts and embroidered pillows add layers of comfort, while an antique vanity with a gilded mirror brings romance. Keep the palette soft, think creams, pale blues, and lavender, to maintain serenity. A small vase of fresh roses on the nightstand? The perfect final touch. Where vintage hooks and fresh blooms welcome you home. The entryway sets the tone for this French country cottage, blending function and beauty. A weathered wooden bench with floral cushions invites you to sit and remove your shoes, while vintage coat hooks hold linen totes and sun hats. A small round table displays a picture of fresh-cut garden roses, and a woven rug adds warmth underfoot. This space whispers, "Slow down, stay a while," making every homecoming feel like a gentle embrace. beside a sunlit window, this reading nook is a book lover's paradise. A vintage armchair in faded floral upholstery pairs with a crocheted throw and a small wooden side table for tea. Stack leather-bound books and place a delicate taper candle nearby for evening reading sessions. The soft glow of a brass floor lamp completes the scene, a perfect spot to unwind with a novel and a cup of Earl Grey. The fireplace mantel is the heart of this cottage's charm, dressed in simplicity and nostalgia. A distressed wooden clock anchors the space, flanked by dried hydrangeas in enamel pitchers. Layer in antique books, a few porcelain figurines, and a string of fairy lights for a touch of magic. In colder months, a stack of birch logs adds rustic texture. This is a place where memories are made, crackling fires, whispered conversations, and quiet winter evenings. French country decor thrives on natural light, filtered through sheer linen or lace curtains. These airy panels let sunlight dance across wooden floors while adding privacy. Tie them back with velvet ribbons or rustic twine for a romantic touch. Pair with wooden shutters for evenings when you crave coziness. The result? A home that feels bright yet intimate, where every ray of light enhances the vintage charm. A small porch or patio extends the French country aesthetic outdoors. Wrought iron bistro sets with floral seat cushions invite morning coffee, while terracotta pots overflow with herbs and trailing petunias. Hang a vintage-style lantern for evening ambience, and add a weathered wooden sign with a sweet phrase like "Bienvenue" or "Live Simply." This space blurs the line between home and garden, making even a tiny balcony feel like a Provençal escape. Walls tell stories in this cottage through a mix of vintage oil paintings, botanical sketches, and handwritten French poetry in delicate frames. A large antique mirror reflects light and doubles the room's floral beauty. For a personal touch, frame pressed flowers or a loved one's handwritten recipe. The key? Keep arrangements organic, no perfect symmetry, just art that feels collected over time. Lighting in a French country home is all about ambience. A crystal chandelier in the dining room adds elegance, while wrought iron sconces frame the fireplace. For evenings, scatter pillar candles in hurricane glasses or place tea lights in vintage brass holders. The flicker of flame against aged wood and floral fabrics creates a scene straight from a countryside fairy tale. Even storage gets a French country makeover here. A painted armoire stores linens while displaying a few cherished heirlooms on top. Wicker baskets under benches hold blankets, and a vintage step ladder becomes a towel rack. The mantra? If it must be functional, let it also be lovely. Every item, from a rolling kitchen cart to a lace-lined drawer, adds to the home's story. In spring, swap dark throws for pastel quilts and fill vases with tulips. Summer calls for sun-bleached linens and bowls of lemons. Autumn welcomes pumpkins and woven wheat stalks, while winter leans into evergreen garlands and velvet ribbons. These small shifts keep the home feeling fresh yet timeless, always rooted in French country charm. Try stenciling a floral design on a plain lampshade or distressing a thrifted side table with chalk paint. Embroider linen napkins with tiny daisies, or create a wreath from dried lavender. These projects add soul to your home and make it uniquely yours, proof that French country decor isn't about perfection, but love and patience. A French country home smells as lovely as it looks. Simmer rosemary and citrus on the stove, place lavender sachets in drawers, or light a beeswax candle with hints of vanilla. These subtle scents deepen the feeling of being in a sun-drenched cottage, where every breath feels like a stroll through a meadow. A sleek espresso machine can coexist with a 19th-century dough bowl on the counter. A modern mattress pairs perfectly with that antique iron bed frame. The secret? Balance. Let vintage pieces shine, but weave in comfortable, functional items so the home feels inviting, not like a museum. This decor isn't about trends, it's about authenticity. A chipped pitcher still holds flowers beautifully. A well-loved quilt gets softer with time. Embrace imperfections, choose pieces you truly adore, and let your home evolve naturally. That's the essence of La Belle Vie. Begin with one corner, a floral armchair, a vintage side table. Add layers slowly, a quilt here, a painting there. Don't rush. Let your home tell its own story, one thrifted treasure and DIY project at a time. Before you know it, you'll be sipping tea in your own slice of Provence. Dear friends, I hope this tour has inspired you to infuse your home with French country charm, where every floral, every weathered edge, tells a story. If you loved this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your favorite idea. Let's keep the conversation blooming. Until next time, à bientôt, may your home be as warm and welcoming as a countryside cottage.